Pick a card. What do people admire about you but won't say? Here are your options, and I'll see what you're reading.
Okay.
Hi friends, my name is Grisel with Toughdolltarot, and I'm here to do your reading. Pile number 1, you chose this lovely image on the right hand side of the screen, and your downloads go as follows. What do people admire about you but won't say? That you live in two worlds. That you're courageous. They feel like you've fought battles that you've never spoken of. You're incredibly deep, and sometimes they feel incredibly shallow by comparison. Also, that you never look down upon them, but that you could. Pile number 1, I also heard that you might be a conspiracy theorist, and that you may perhaps even wrestle with some dark thoughts as well. So we're going to go ahead and get into more information during the shuffle in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, welcome. If you are new to my channel, I am super excited to have you here. I hope that you guys can find something that's helpful, hopeful, or at the very least amusing. And if you guys are indeed repeat offenders, thank you so much for being here. I am super excited, and I really just appreciate all of you guys. So what do people admire about you but won't say? Pile number 1. You have the sun. You have the forest. And you have the high priestess. Oh, goodness. Wow. Pile number 1. It was really kind of funny because I felt a little bit of a heaviness when I started channeling information right away for you. And I really feel like you have no idea how esteemed you are to people around you, your friend group, just people in general. But let's just really get into it. Pile number 1. Why do people admire you but won't say? With the Sun card right here, it seems to me that you're very in touch. You have a youthfulness about you, and you're not afraid to dream, and sometimes even dream publicly, meaning that you can speak thoughts out loud that other people might keep quiet about. I'm looking at this little red flag here. I feel like even you might consider the things that you talk about to be a little bit of a red flag sometimes, but the fact that you're willing to talk about anything in front of people bodes well for you. I feel like people think that you have an incredibly high perspective of things. And people really admire this about you. It's like you don't get stuck on the little details. You could be very detail oriented, but I feel like you have a higher perspective and ability to take a picture, if you will, from higher ground, from even the perspective of spirit or just the bigger picture. And people love this about you because it makes you unique, very different. I also feel like people admire your connectivity to spirit and to things that are really unseen. I also feel with these two combined, pile number 1, excuse the voice crack here, I feel like you have the ability to bring what is hidden or what is looming over people out into the forefront, that you have an ability to speak upon this. And it's really interesting because you're very diverse and you also mince with no words. With your group, I definitely feel like people admire that you're going to speak your mind. And I don't think that you're somebody who talks a lot, but when you do, people definitely listen. Like the High Priestess is here, and typically the High Priestess I would not consider to be a chatterbox. But I feel like people look forward to you speaking because you bring an awareness, a perspective, and also maybe perhaps that you reveal secrets from the other side. In other words, that you're channeling direct from spirit. And people really like and admire this about you, but then necessarily wouldn't say that. Also, you bring about abundance wherever it is that you go. You have this tendency to illuminate things with the number 19, reducing to a 10, which goes back to number 1. So you have this ability to look at things from such a unique perspective that other people would never have done so around you. Also, I feel like people admire about you that you're incredibly in tune with others, even to the subtleties. 10 of Pentacles. That's such a beautiful card. So people admire about you that you're incredibly loyal, that you're family-minded, family-oriented, that you're very peaceful, and that you like to maybe perhaps meander. I also feel like you could be somebody that finds financial sources, like you can monetize a lot of your gifts, in other words. I feel like this surprises people, but they really admire you as well. I think that you have a lot of talents that you could also get paid for. And that you allow abundance just to come to you, that you're not necessarily chasing the big dollar. Maybe perhaps you could be a little bit of a workaholic just by trade. Yeah, the Four of Wands, that you are solid, that you, even though you feel like you're connected in between two worlds, that you're definitely solid, dependable. Even this to me looks like an elephant's trunk in the upright. And I sort of feel like this to mean that maybe perhaps you have a long memory. Maybe you're plugged into your ancestors and you share about that. Or people admire, what people admire about you but won't say is that you do have a long memory. And also an ability to create abundance. Like wherever it is that you're at is abundant. You don't even have to magnetize it or attract it because you automatically are. And I'm looking at all of these birds right here. I do feel like you draw a crowd to you. And maybe even like you don't necessarily mean to. Because with the High Priestess, I feel like the High Priestess is very private, first of all. But there's, yeah, a lot of polarizing cards right here. It's like you're in the spotlight, but you're very private. And you have a higher perspective. What else do we have here? Yeah, you have the Strength card. So some of you guys can have Leo or fire sign in your chart. Aries, Leo. Why am I forgetting the other? Sagittarius, I think. But that you have really mastered yourself. Now, something about you just really screams that you have a lot of power, but that you've undergone a lot of self-mastery. You've taught yourself a lot of lessons, and maybe perhaps you belong to some discipline, whether it's like mental discipline or body discipline, like yoga or working out, or a tactical discipline, or some kind of jiu-jitsu, martial arts kind of a thing. But people admire that you have an incredible amount of courage and also the ability to withhold and control your own hunger, the things that you desire or things that you want. You don't run around willy-nilly with those. I feel like this could be something that they have seen you develop over time. I also feel like people actually don't understand you quite often. People really admire you. They want to know more about you. It's like they want to bring forward the sun and to illuminate basically all sides of you. They want to know also what you keep private into yourself. Tiger, you're being reminded that persistence is necessary to attain your goals. You need to be patient and trust that the universe will help you through challenges in divine timing. Success is guaranteed, pile number 1. So maybe perhaps people have seen you go after things or to do your thing, or whatever this thing is. And they've seen your progression, and they've seen that you've taken time, energy, and blood, sweat, and tears, but that you continue at a steady pace. Maybe perhaps I heard that you're the conduit. That's interesting. You're almost like the middleman in between spirit and other people. You're like that link into the other world. Next we have pile number 1, Kangaroo. A 9-month cycle is at play. Your current project will take 9 months to mature. So you're working on something. You've been working on something with diligence. You have tenacity, and they admire this. Maybe you're working on something, and you have a platform that you help people achieve a higher vision. I heard even Vision Quest. A higher perspective over what it is that you are doing, over people's daily life and stuff like that. So it'll take months to mature and benefit you. Commit fully to it. You have all the strength and stamina. Strength, and stamina. Sorry, my stomach's grumbling. As long as you move forward and not backwards. Yeah. And so it seems to me like you're birthing something into this world that people really admire you for. And again, I feel like you're multifaceted. You have a lot of different qualities that maybe friends or people that surround you currently are not really aware of, and they would like to know a little bit more about that. Let's see what else we can learn about you. Pile number 1. What do people admire about you but won't say? Why are these cards here, please? Especially the High Priestess. Oh, serendipity. Yeah, you appear to people almost like a lucky charm. It's almost like they weren't looking for you. You were like the person that they never knew that they needed. And I mean this platonically or even romantically, even as an employee. I feel like when people encounter you, it's like a lot of things start happening in their lives as well. And people admire that you have this ability to maybe grab things that you dream up or that you dream upon. You could have a little bit of like fate energy about you. You could be a little bit of a forest fairy, if you will. Yeah, but luck seems to really follow you wherever you're at. And I feel like even though it's a byproduct, people around you wind up getting lucky as well. And not in that way. Get your brain out of the gutter. Pile number 1, maybe in that way. Who knows, right? Before I reveal your flanking cards, if you can do me a solid, if you enjoy these kind of readings, please do give me a like, share, comment, subscribe. Also, don't forget to click that little notification bell so that you could be alerted whenever your favorite content creators come on. Anybody, okay? So, what do people admire about you but won't say? You know how to keep a secret. Yeah, and you seek harmony. You're very harmonious. You're not here to fight, battle, bring up drama, bring up trauma. I feel like you're a healing balm. I feel like you are like the warm sunshine into people's souls. And something about like melody, and you're always looking up. You're always looking up. By the same token that you're looking up for answers, maybe, I feel like other people are looking up as well. Looking up to you. Pile number 1, I feel also that you hold a lot of things sacred, and I think that that's very beautiful. You see beauty right here. Maybe perhaps you like to go into like a temple and meditate or pray, but you have some kind of a practice that's really admirable. I feel like you give freely of that, generously, and onto other people. You pour love and hope and warmth onto other people and encouragement. But there's a part of you that they just don't know. Strength, again, clarified by strength. Yeah. And it's funny because I was feeling like my back is like really tight. My shoulders are really tight. And you carry a lot of burdens onto yourself that other people really don't quite comprehend, understand. But I do think that they see this in you. And you might really talk about those things every once in a while. But I feel like people don't really understand the full extent. It almost seems to me, pile number 1, that you are the quintessential like caretaker, that you have gone through a lot of changes, a lot of transformations within your own life, maybe even within your own body and things like that. But people are really riveted. They admire you because of the hard work that you put in, not only into your spirituality, your connectivity to the other side, but bringing these things forward into maybe the 3D world so that people around you could also be a part of it or comprehend. I also feel like you don't do this like deliberately, but this is something that you could do just as a byproduct because of whom you are. Yeah, people are very interested in you. They admire you a lot. I want to find out a little bit more about the High Priestess. Show me what I need to see. Why is the High Priestess here? What do people admire about you but won't say? You are the secret keeper. That you are closed-mouthed when it comes to other people divulging private things to you. But you're also closed-mouthed when it comes to divulging things about yourself. So we have here the Four of Wands, clarifying what the Three of Wands right here. And what people admire about you is that you're always future focused, that you're forward thinking, perhaps even that you have an edge. You know how a business is going to go or what's going to be cutting edge, or you have a cutting edge way of looking at things as far as marketing or advertising and things like that. But you're always like future focused. You're willing to do something new. And I feel like pile number one, it seems to me like you are different. Like you could feel like you're a being from a different world, you know, occupying this skin, these bones at this point in time. That you have a higher mission, but that things do get really heavy because I still have like some pain on my back or some like fatigue, some tiredness that you carry with you that you don't share with other people. They could be unaware of this, or they could have a sense of things like that. But it doesn't seem like you really talk about it, and maybe you should. Pile number one, I'm going to go ahead and pull one more card. What do people admire about you but won't say? What do we have? Canaz. See if this will pick it up better. There we go. We have enlightenment. Yeah, they admire that you are enlightened. Yeah, like really in touch with spirit. Also your creativity. You have great skill. You're very creative. And I think that that's really evident for a lot of people to see. That you know how to lay down roots and ground yourself. And also that you're incredibly learned, that you love to learn. Even this here has a bunch of books. And that you could study late into the night. That you could be just wise. Almost like an old soul. And people love this about you. But they won't say, regardless of your age. It's like you know the mysteries of the other side. And people are very interested in a lot of what you have to say, your ideas and your perspectives. Even on current events, people are willing to listen. Especially because even though you have the sun coming out, which is like being out of yourself or extroverted, I feel like the High Priestess, there's a balance here. And if I were to guess, I would say that you're a little bit more introverted than you were extroverted. But maybe perhaps with the Four of Wands right here, when you feel safe, when you feel comfortable, or perhaps when you get to know people quite well, you actually do share about your higher perspective. And people really value this, but they're not going to tell you. Then you definitely do see the bigger picture, that sometimes people can even hang on every word that you say because it's enriched with your opinions. And they know that you don't really share those very often with others. So that's what I have for you. Let me know what you think. Much love to you. Until next time, namaste. Hi friends, my name is Griselle with Toughdolltarot, and I'm here to do your reading. Pile number two, you chose this lovely image on the right hand side of the screen, and your downloads go as follows. What do people admire about you but won't say? You're incredibly graceful and model-esque. Your skin is enviable. You have poise and grace. You easily command a room with your presence. Your self-confidence is a topic of analysis with other people. I do feel like you could be someone that's a little bit unconventional or alternative, or something about you that you won't buy into mainstream narrative. So you might look differently. And your confidence is an incredible eye catcher, let me just say. So people want to know how to become more like this. So that's what I have. Let's go ahead and get a little bit more during the shuffle in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, welcome. If you're new to my channel, I hope that you find something that's helpful, hopeful, or at the very least amusing. And for those of you that are indeed repeat offenders, I am so grateful for you guys. Thank you so much. Pile number 2. What do people admire about you but won't say? I will never be able to pick up these cards. A sun. Okay. We have the sun. We're going to have to cheat here and get a card to help a card. You have the Queen of Wands. You have the Three of Pentacles. And you have the Queen of Swords. Wow. Pile number 2. First of all, you guys might be coming from pile number 1 because the sun was there in the same placement. But if not, that's okay too. I'm just going to say that you definitely are in the spotlight, whether you like it or not. I definitely feel like with the Queen of Wands right here, whether male, female, doesn't make a difference. I feel like, first of all, aesthetically or just your image, your persona, something about you is incredibly powerful. I feel like when you walk in a room, heads turn automatically. Even if you're wanting to kind of blend in or you're not wanting attention, it doesn't make a difference. Yeah, you definitely have black cat energy, but maybe perhaps you have people around you that try to bring you more into the spotlight, meaning that you could be someone like myself. I like small venues. I don't like to be in big crowds or around a lot of people. But maybe perhaps for whatever reason you are in the public eye. So this can mean maybe like you do presentations at work and things like that, and you're the one chosen to represent the team or propose a project and things like that because you have great stage presence. But definitely I'm getting stage presence. And with the Queen of Wands right here, this is a mover and a shaker. This is no slouch. This is definitely someone who'll capture the eye and also the imagination. And with these two cards right here, I feel like you have an ability to encourage or elicit cooperation between people. Now, again, this could be at work, in the workforce, but even among friends. This could be your ability to work well with others that encourages that, or simply like you have words of encouragement that opens up the mindset to teamwork and not so much like individual or spotlight, even though pile number 2, I feel like you're very much an individual in your spotlight kind of person. Pile number 2 with the swords, the Queen of Swords right here being prevalent. I mean, definitely you have a keen mind, and maybe perhaps you're a great strategist as well. People like that about you. And what people admire but won't say is maybe perhaps you also notice other details that other people don't, such as the red hand. This is almost like this person's being caught red-handed. And this word is totally cut off, but the word ban. So it seems to me like this person could be someone within a project that you need a ban, or they're being caught red-handed. Like you can tell minute details of that. I had a cough there, but it seems to me like you can understand the depth of people's play and how they fit into the puzzle, whether it's work or personal life. You understand their moves, their mindset, their intentions, and you understand what needs to be done about it as well. So you're definitely incredibly smart And people admire you for this, but they won't say. That's kind of interesting to me. Pile number 2. You have deep being. Yep. Self-love and acceptance. Pile number 2, you could really be all about like self-love, be on a self-love journey, body positivity. You could be working on your diet. You could be working on your physique, whatever that looks like. Maybe you want to gain weight, you want to lose weight. Maybe you want to tone. You could be working on maybe a hair growing journey or growing your hair out natural to its natural color. But whatever, I'm hearing that you exemplify beauty. Beauty and uniqueness. And people admire that about you. Also that with the unconventionality, like if you're trying to do a hair growing journey and you're allowing your hair to grow silver, gray, or you're going back to your natural color after dyeing it a multitude of colors, such as I have. People are a little bit surprised by this and that you're embracing yourself wholly. I mean, let's face it, nobody's going to love us the way we love ourselves, right? Pile number 2. You have chihuahuas. Let's get this to focus. Yeah. I mean, this is almost like the sword of truth, the sword of justice, and it imitates this a little bit. So I feel like you have the ability to cut through the crap, if you will. I feel like also honor, victory, and truth is really important to you. And also I heard the word impale. So maybe it could even be that you will throw yourself to the wolves if you're in the wrong. So I feel like a great moral fiber. People admire this about you, that you'll even say things about yourself that other people would not admit. And sometimes I read comments on, I don't know, other socials like TikToks or much less, but on Instagram or whatever. And, you know, when somebody like confesses to something and they're like, well, it would take me 1,000 years before I would fess up to that. But you're that person. Pile number 2, I feel like you would shock people with your admission. And you're like, yeah, that was, you know, I don't know, like, you know, well, I used to do drugs or whatever. Or I had a drug habit that cost me $350 a day to maintain before I got cleaned up or whatever. I don't know. Whatever the thing is, I feel like you would even, you know, fess up to your own things, that you don't pedestal yourself and you're not about to try to, like, I don't know, make a caricature of your life. Pile number 2. You have the 5 of Cups. Yeah. And you have the Wheel of Fortune. So pile number 2, right off the bat, I just feel like there's a lot of, you know, crow energy here, or bird energy, if you will. And I'm just going to say that sometimes you could keep a lid on how you are feeling internally, the good times and the bad times. Maybe perhaps people are privy to like the good times, but they don't really know fundamentally like where you came from or how you have suffered actually. With the 5 of Cups, it seems like you could be in an active period of mourning or having a sadness about you. And usually with the 5 of Cups, we have 3 upturned usually, and then 2 upright, but this one is a little bit different. So I'm going to say that maybe perhaps you are celebrating victories currently, but that you have lost people that are close to you to celebrate with. And that could be something that you don't really talk about often, or you keep it to yourself, because this raven is guarding this cup. People admire that you could be stoic, your stoicism. Also that you're on the coming up and up. That's not even a word. But I feel like people admire just how far you have come, and how maybe you even talk about it, and how you really talk to people about your own personal navigational system, meaning like the way that you make decisions and how you make micro modifications in order to create big changes in your life. And people really love this about you. How you have the ability to stay the course even when you're in the middle of sadness. How you have the ability to have trust in something bigger than yourself, even though you, again, could feel like you're in mourning or sadness. What people admire about you but won't say is that they feel like things don't necessarily come easy to you, although they can see it that way. They don't see the blood, sweat, and tears that went on behind it and before all of your prosperity coming to you. But they feel very much like they were fated to meet you. And they won't necessarily say this to you, but that you've really impacted their life in some way positive. Pile number 2, before I reveal your flanking cards, if you can do me a solid, and please like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know if anything resonated with you. Also, if you could please check that little notification bell so that you get notified when I drop further readings. Pile number 2, what do they admire but won't say? They admire your thought process. Yeah, and I feel like this is directly tied into your inner navigational system. Just the way that you make decisions, the way that you check within yourself, and you're not looking for outside wisdom or outside opinions. I feel like there's something about you, once again, very stoic or very self-contained. Also, what people admire about you but won't say is just your purity, how you're very pure-minded. You're not like, well, let me, do this and then screw everybody else around you. That's not how you think, and that's not how you move in the world. Freedom. Pile number 2, what people admire about you but won't say is your personal freedom. Maybe that you are free of other people's opinions, or that you make it not your business to be swayed by other people's opinions. I feel like you could be very humble, comfortable in your own skin. You could be doing well, but not as well as you'd like to be. People admire about you just your humility, your ability to work very hard, to maybe lay down foundations, to maybe even speak your truth, even though it might elicit, I heard, confrontation from other people. What people admire about you but won't say is how you look for freedom in every circumstance, and how you really choose to focus on the beauty and on the peacefulness of things versus on the strife and the tug of war and on division. People love to be around you. It seems like you can calm others immediately, but also I feel like there's a sense of like sexual energy about you. So yeah, well, that would make sense with the Queen of Wands right here. Definitely something very smexy coming to the forefront. Let's see what else we have. Yeah, when you enter a room, people could really admire your body, the way that you move, the way that everybody's head whips around to look at you no matter what you're wearing. What else do we have? Isa. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Yeah, so there's something very hidden about you that people are drawn to. It could be your stillness, the same way that this bat is just chilling right here. Your self-control. You have an incredible amount of focus. Again, your intellect is being referenced. The way that you're not quick to make moves until you're sure that you're on the right trajectory for yourself. The way that you don't compare yourself to other people, or at least not out loud. You don't like navigate the way other people do. People love this about you. That also that you have a lot of admirers or people looking up to you, but that you don't allow things to get to your head. They are very grounded and humble, and that you know that your energy, even your thoughts and ideas, that comes from source or a higher power than you. So that you're not going to get big-headed with anything. And people really love this and admire this about you, because it seems like you've been through a lot of different phases, and you've been steady in whom you are during the whole process. And also, I feel like what people admire about you is that you planted seeds that are turning into things of beauty right now to surround yourself with. And this could be seeds of like friendship, seeds of connection, seeds of like wisdom, or anything that you are building or working on. Your last card, because I gave this to pile number 1. What do people admire about you but won't say? Pile number 2. Abundance. What? With the buffalo, abundance and liberation are finally on the way. Yeah, it has to do with freedom. It comes to you now to remind you of the amazing manifestation power of gratitude. You'll always have plenty when you express gratitude to every part of creation. Yeah, and this comes with humility. So gratitude could be a part of that, just how you show that you're grateful for the small things, including, the big things as well, but that you're not like, oh my gosh, I have to have the latest purse and the latest makeup and whatever, but that you're grateful for the abundance that you do have and you acknowledge it as so. Also, some of you guys could be native or indigenous. You don't have to be, but you could be. And or you could publicly or privately acknowledge that and do tributes to your ancestors. So that is what I have for you. Let me know what you think about this reading. Until next time, namaste. Hi friends, my name is Griselle with Toughdolltarot, and I'm here to do your reading. Pile number 3. You chose this lovely image on the right hand side of the screen, and your downloads go as follows. What do people admire about you but won't say? That you make everything look so effortless, that you magnetize what you want. How do you do that? Everything that you want just seems to fall within your grasp. You're incredibly sensual, and you're not easily embarrassed. Pile number 3, we're going to go ahead and get a little bit more during your shuffle. And 3, 2, 1. Welcome. Pile number 3. If you're new to my channel, I'm super excited to have you here. I do hope that you'll find something that is helpful, hopeful, or at the very least, something that's amusing. And for those of you guys that are my repeat offenders, I am so grateful to have you here. Thank you guys so much. Pile number 3. What do people admire about you but won't say? You have the 5 of Swords. You have the 10 of Cups. And you have the 3 of Pentacles. Maybe some of you guys are coming from pile number 2. Not necessarily. But right off the bat, pile number 3, with the 5 of Swords right here and the 10 of Cups, I feel like people really admire how you will stand up for anyone that you consider friend, family. I feel like you could be the ultimate crusader, the ultimate enforcer, protector. I feel like when people are with you, they know that they are going to be taken care of, that no one's going to take better care of them. Also, pile number 2, pile number 3, I feel like people could not want to tangle with you. I feel like you're quite formidable if you need to be, and you're not afraid to show that side of you. If people come for you, they're definitely going to find you. Now, pile number 3, we have a card that talks to me about cooperation, collaboration. And maybe perhaps this is stating that you go after the pursuits that make you really joyful, happy, emotional fulfillment, and that you protect those things and guard them with everything that you have. Three of Pentacles really tells me that you could be in cooperative energy right now. Maybe you're a content creator and you are collaborating with other content creators and making something different. But you're easy to want to cooperate with. Sometimes it could even seem that things fall in your lap this way. Collaborations, cooperations, networking, that kind of a thing. Pile number 3. What do they admire but won't say? Yeah, loyalty. You're bringing up like nostalgia because you're incredibly loyal and fierce. I feel like also you could balance people's emotional equilibrium just by being you, just by being around. And you bring clarity to a lot of situations. I feel like also you could clarify if people are around you in a funk, like friends, family, whatever. I feel like you could bring back to the forefront like what is the most important and help them to be in once again happy in their own skin, or experience like that gratitude, an attitude of gratitude. I feel like also what people are mad about you but won't say is that maybe you do have golden retriever energy, but that can turn into like a Doberman whenever it need be. So you could be very dualistic. You could have definitely two sides to you, and it just really depends. You allow, I heard call the shots, so I'm hearing that you could allow people around you to call the shots on how they decide they want to be treated accordingly, right? So if they come to you with good intention, then they'll get the good side. And if they come to you with a problem or with trouble meant for you, that you are not afraid to jump into the fray. And also we can't ignore, because I did leave this card up, the Rune Stone from pile number 2 when I was shuffling. And this is about your self-control, focus, stability. Yeah, how you have the ability to kind of lie and wait for things in order to see them pan out. You're not in a rush for anything or anyone. You could also be, I'm hearing pile number 3, that person that everybody thinks that they know. And what I mean by that, for example, is I get a lot of people at work. I work with the public. And I do get a lot of times people come in and go, oh, I know you. Don't I know you? That kind of a thing. Or, oh, I've seen you before. And I'm like, nope, not even from here. You've never seen me before. But I just think that's kind of funny. So you could have that face that people just automatically get drawn to for whatever reason. And they feel like they're itching their brain trying to figure out where they know you from. We have the 8 of Swords. I do feel like what people admire about you but won't say is that you have an ability to really mull things over in your mind. Even this turtle. This turtle's like, I ain't going nowhere. There's too many swords around. You know, turtle moves very slowly. So maybe perhaps you are a great strategist, but you take a long time and you look at the logistics and you kind of mull things over and you look at, okay, well, if this play doesn't work out, what's going to happen? If that play doesn't work out, what's going to happen? If I collaborate with somebody, but they're not totally on the up and up, or I don't really know, what if it goes south? How is that going to work out? And so on. So I feel like you don't allow your brain to rest. You take no chances. And when you do that, you are very measured in those chances. I'm going to go ahead and flip this card. Knowing, take the first step. Yeah. So pile number 3, I definitely feel like maybe perhaps you could have a lot of secrets. I feel like there's secretive energy about you. And what people admire but won't say, I feel like you have a lot of admirers, actually. And people that want to connect with you from the past, like in a romantic way, even if you're currently connected. Sorry about that, I'm just saying. But also people know that you're incredibly deep, or they can intuitively feel that way. Maybe you're a little bit witchy as well. And people just want to know a little bit more about you. Like, what is it that you prize? What is it that you hold dear? What is it that you hold sacred or secret? As I destroy my whole table here. because this isn't going to do what I want it to do. Pile number 3, you could have a lot of eyes on you as well. And what people secretly admire about you, but won't say, is the way that you handle it. Even the sun is prominent right here. It's featured in her hair. And also there could be something very different, or I heard distinguished, about your hair. Wolf. Inner strength. You may be facing a challenge you feel less than prepared for. This is a reminder that you have all the tools in your spiritual treasure chest to handle this effectively. Take a step back and try to take a look at things with fresh eyes. Yeah. And I feel like what people admire but won't say is that you meet the challenges, that you always meet them, maybe perhaps even as a lone wolf, that you're learning how to integrate your time with other people, that you're learning maybe to kind of throw in your lot with other people, and that you're starting to realize that you don't always have to do everything yourself. Yeah, because I definitely feel like you're there for many people, but you seldom call on help. You don't ask for help or support. Maybe perhaps you're learning how to do this a little bit for yourself. Pile number 3. What do people admire about thee but won't say? Your innocence. That you have a lot of innocence, a lot of love. Again, this is almost like a lot of people from your past thinking that you're incredibly sweet. Maybe that they would love to pair up with you, or that you would make a lovely pair, or that you would be like a power couple, that kind of a thing. Maybe perhaps you could be taller than most, or they could be like a height difference between you and most people if you're very short. You bring about the feelings and emotions of innocence, of love, of beauty, of wanting to take care of people, and dreams. You could be very connected to your emotions and your dreams. Pile number 3, I definitely feel like you allow room for your own emotions to kind of flow. And maybe perhaps you might speak on this and people could really feel nostalgic about, they wish they could be open about their emotions or their dreams and things like that. And maybe also I'm hearing that you have the ability to go within your dream and bring out nuggets of truths and wisdom, that your dreams could even be prophetic for some of you guys, but that you could also have a lot of inspiration within your dreams. And a lot of beauty that comes from it as well. What people admire about you is your grace, your ability to be graceful and beautiful regardless of the circumstances around you. And of course, we know that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Let's get a little bit more information with these Rune cards. What do they admire about you but won't say? Show me more. This card came out, and I think pile number 1. Kenaz. Probably said that wrong. But that you have higher learning, or that you're incredibly intellectual, that you're always seeking enlightenment, that you have a lot of skill, that you have a knack for creativity and a way of looking at things that other people simply don't. People also admire your connectivity to spirit and just the way that you're willing to delve deep, even if it means like delving deep within yourself and exploring those qualities that people want to run from. I feel like you could be, pile number 3, someone who likes to go and delve deep within yourself, even your own psyche, your own emotions and things like that, to work things out, to bring out the best, maybe even a transmute energy that is laying stagnant there. Because like we had that one card in pile number 2 that stayed, and that was a card of stillness. But that you really are quick to dive deep and to go within in order to bring out the best parts of yourself. You don't want to stay within that stagnancy. What do people admire about you but won't say? Yeah, when you make a decision, you act quickly. Look, more books. That you're incredibly learned, that there's nothing that you won't study to the upteenth degree. And nowadays, unfortunately, we're not reading a lot of books. We're doing a lot of social mediaing, right? But this could be going down any rabbit hole and just really getting yourself educated, up to speed on things, or if something kind of tickles your brain, you're really willing to connect with any kind of media, whether it's books or articles or magazines, or studying social media in order to get the information that you really need. People admire about you, but won't say that you know a lot about a lot of different subjects, and that this has helped you to grow as a person. It's helped you also to be the go-to person for a lot of people, even if they won't tell you that you're the go-to person. I feel like you definitely are. And with the blue wings right here, I feel like this is something that you've really helped instill a lot of trust in other people. People just automatically trust you. They want to tell you things. And I feel also that people admire about you that you go places, like with the wings in the books right there, that you definitely have, maybe you're a world traveler, maybe you travel for work or something like that, or you travel in your mind like I do. So pile number 3, I guess we're getting more of these cards just because we can. Yeah, children. So maybe you are very lighthearted or very childlike, very innocent. You're inquisitive. You like to learn about people, and you have a lot of depth. So I don't think that the questions that you ask about other people, like, oh, what are you doing, today, that kind of a thing. You want to know, like, what their roots are, where they're headed, what their, I don't know, what their barometer is, like their spiritual barometer. What is it that they like to accomplish with their lives? I guess a bigger picture. What else do we need to know? Builder, yeah. You want to know automatically. I think that you can size people up quickly. And what people admire about you is that you're always thinking of building. How can I build connectivity? How can I, utilize these skills and in exchange for this in order to glow up, grow up, show up? Your innate ability to build and create brings you a deep sense of accomplishment. Yeah, you can create things like from nothing into something. So I think you could be a creator. Whatever you build cabinets, but something about it is very different about you, and people really admire that, whatever it is that you have built with your very own hands. Yeah, and travel, we got that before. So travel, your life purpose involves traveling. And it seems like you're very at peace or very inquisitive about traveling. And again, with the blue, some of you guys work in finance. And yeah, you're divinely protected, because it's funny because I just was thinking about those 5 planes that had, the 5 plane crashes, and that's so horrible. So my heart goes out to all those people that are suffering and lost family members. But right when I said traveling, I was thinking, well, who wants to travel right now? Because people are a little bit afraid. But you're being reassured that you are safe and supported while you change your career. So maybe some of you guys are opening up doors to a new career. And people really admire this about you, that you're willing to go places and do things in order to seek the happiness, the interconnectedness, and contentedness. That's not even a word. Whatever makes you happy, I feel. You go after what makes you happy. And I don't feel like those things are like necessarily money or whatever. You could really thrive on, I don't know, like saving the bears, and you want to go to places to tag them and to really study them and to do whatever. Or you are passionate about cooking or bringing different skills into different people. You can go to, different cultures or tribes and things like that, and really show them or share with them, or in turn learn or interview them. So you're very diverse, and there's something about you that's like a give and take. There's even exchange, that you're not simply a taker to enjoy life and enjoy the ride, but that you're willing to allow other people to fly and see what they're about as well. Woo, the Emperor, yeah. As I talked about fly, that happens to be a bird, right? So with the Emperor, pile number 3, what people admire about thee is that you have a lot of eyes upon you. And what people are interested in is how you rule your life, or maybe your business, fundamentally, they're interested in what you are made of and how you call the shots. So they're interested in how you, excuse me, how you draw stability in your life and how you connect to the spiritual world. But also, if you notice, all these plumes are down. They're not like all puckered up so that everybody can notice this emperor. So how are you so humble when you have all these gifts at your fingertips? So that's what I have for you. Let me know what you think if this resonated. Much love to you. Until next time, namaste.